Okay, good afternoon. My name is Nancy, and I'm going to talk about the Enlightenment. First of all, when and where did the Enlightenment take place? Okay, historians place the Enlightenment in Europe with a strong emphasis in France during the late 17th and or 18th century or more comprehensively between the Glorious Revolution in 1688 and the French Revolution of 1789. It represents a phase in the intellectual history of Europe and also programs of reform inspired by belief in the possibility of a better world that outlined specific targets for criticism and programs of action. Okay, another question about enlightenment is what led to the enlightenment? What led that? Okay, the roots of enlightenment can be found in the humanism of the Renaissance, with its emphasis on the study of classical literature, and the Protestant Reformation, with its antipathy toward received religious dogma, was another precursor. Perhaps the most important sources of what became the Enlightenment were the complementary, rational, and empirical methods of discovering truth that were introduced by the scientific revolution. We can also state that this movement was an intellectual and philosophical movement. The Enlightenment included a range of ideas centered on the value of human happiness, the pursuit of knowledge obtained by means of reason, and the evidence of science, the ideals such as liberty, progress, toleration, fraternity, and constitutional government. And also, the Enlightenment was preceded by the scientific revolution and the work of Francis Bacon, among others. Some date the beginning of the Enlightenment back to the publication of René Descartes' Discourse on the Method in 1637, featuring his famous doctrine, cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. Others cite the publication of Isaac Newton's Principia Mathematica as the culmination of scientific revolution and the beginning of the Enlightenment. Okay, and now we are going to talk about the Enlightenment in written. Okay, the very existence of an English Enlightenment has been hotly debated by scholars. The majority of textbooks on British history make little or no mention of an English Enlightenment. Some surveys of the entire Enlightenment include England, and others ignore it, although they do include coverage of such major intellectuals as Joseph Addison, Edward Gibbon, John Locke, Isaac Newton, Alexander Pope, and others. The free-thinking term that describes those who stood in opposition to the institution of the church and the literal belief in the Bible can be said to have begun in England no later than 1713, and when Anthony Collins wrote his Discourse of Free Thinking, which gained substantial popularity. This essay attacked the clergy of all churches and was a plea for deism. Roy Porter argues that the reason for this neglect were the assumption that the movement was primarily French-inspired, that it was largely a religious or anti-clerical, and that it stood in outspoken defiance to the established order. And also Porter admits that after the 1720s, England could claim thinkers to equal Diderot, Voltaire, and Rousseau. However, its leading intellectuals, such as Edward Gibbon, as I mentioned before, and others like Samuel Johnson, were all quite conservative and supportive of a standing order. And also, Porter says that the reason was that the Enlightenment had come early to England and had succeeded, so that the culture had accepted political liberalism, philosophical empirism, and religious toleration of the sort of that intellectuals on the continent had to fight for against powerful odds. Furthermore, England rejected the collectivism of continent and emphasized the improvement of individual as main goal of enlightenment. And that is a brief history about the Enlightenment, where did take place, and also the history about England in the age of Enlightenment. Thank you so much, and we continue with my classmate. Thank you.